Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. Yeah, you know what it is. Hard worker, scrappy, unfiltered, and sometimes unhinged football content. Hard to explain, but you know it when you see it. Doing it daily, our way. I don't know what you're talking about right now. Redraft and Dynasty Fantasy Football, we got you covered. You know their defense is ranked like 31st in the NFL? NFL draft prospects and rookies? Now you know you in the right place for that.
Absolutely.
All right, then stop saying it. Then we're done. And prop bets with my man JRich.
Count that money, man.
Now wipe the crust out of your eyes, get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake your ass up with RayG. You honestly are making absolutely no sense and you sound silly as hell. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. It is Wednesday, February the 9th, 2022. This is Wake Up with RayG. Good morning. I see all the comments. Rojo, Fish, Dalton, Michael, Mike, Jay, Jeff, Mike Anderson, my man Jay Peters, Lindsey Mack, Top Dog, Tim, Stone, Rico, my girl Joe, Zach, Ricardo. What's going on, everybody? We are happy to have you on this hump day, middle of the week. Let's get through it, people. We almost made it. Almost made it. A couple of more days left in the work week. We got one more day left of the show. Tomorrow, you know we're going to get into round 2 of that Superflex 2022 rookie mock. That's where the real stuff is going to come into play. Like, that's where we're really going to dive into these prospects and where we should be valuing this player versus that player. We had a funny-ass comment to start the show. Jay, how you doing this morning? While I get this comment pulled up.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Happy to be here. Get another Q&A with the people. I'm excited. We got some good questions today.
Yeah.
There's a few in here that I think are going to just piss you off just a little bit. Going to open some old wounds, but it'll be a good show for sure. I let the people know, you're playing with fire, but it's going to be a good show for
old
sure.
wounds. I'm assuming we're going to have some Jalen Reagor talk in there. Is there some Reagor talk?
I'm not going to spoil anything, but
you sons of bitches.
We'll see.
If you guys listen, it wasn't my fault. It was the analytic community. They told me. He got drafted in the first round. But somebody asked, what the hell is a Patreon? They have videos and content. Is it strictly way to pay Ray and support the team? Like, for me and what we do, we do have a website. You can go to destinationdevy.com, but there's nothing there. There's no subscription service. A lot of content that we give away on the show and on YouTube, we give it away for free. But behind the scenes, we've got a ton of people who create content for us. If you are subscribed to the Patreon, you know the database. Jordan Backus runs that. Mike and Adam with the 4D Chess Podcast. Eugene and Ike off the line fantasy. Ben Eby with Elite Seekers. It's a way for me to pay content creators without having this infrastructure, right? Like, I don't have... Like, everything I'm doing is out of my pocket, right? I pay Jordan out of my pocket. I pay everybody else on the team out of my pocket. So it's a way to support the work that we're doing, support the content creators, and yes, you get bonus content, right? You want to know who I have ranked 1 through 25, how Malik Willis compares to the last 2 quarterback classes. That's included in my Patreon service. So it's just a subscription-based monthly, or you can pay annually service to provide you with a little more content than you get than I already give away for free. I already give away a ton of stuff for free, but that's what it is. No problem helping an old man out. And if you do want to support, this isn't some sales pitch. You can, you can't. Even if you don't, you're going to get tons of dope shit for free. Patreon.com/prospect talk. We would appreciate it. You do it for a month. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. It costs you $7 if you want access to the database. But Jay, I've got to tell everybody, right? I spread a lot of fake news on Monday. I was the fake news spreader. So I will move you off of the screen and I will apologize to North Dakota State wide receiver Christian Watson. He is not 37 years old, as I said on the show. There was fake news spread around at the Senior Bowl that he was 24 going on 25. Christian Watson is 22 years old. So much younger wide receiver prospect. And if anything, I only think that helps his NFL draft prospectus. I still am saying he's going to be a top 64 pick. I believe he's going to be a second-round pick in the NFL draft. He's already measured in. He's tall, he's big, he's fast, most explosive and most dynamic receiver at the Senior Bowl. He's the riser that I thought Jahan Dotson would be. So, Mr. Christian Watson, I am so sorry for giving you aging you like that. He is not 24 years old. He is 22, going on 23 years old. So there's that. I just had to apologize to Christian Watson for that. But Jay, we got a lot of questions, right? Q&A today.
Yes, sir.
This is our way to engage with the people. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. What we got, man? So, do we have any news? Is there anything that popped off? I'm trying to think. I saw some little stuff this morning about the NFL's considering changing the kickoff rule. Good. Okay. I like if you haven't seen the XFL and what they do for kickoffs, I think it's really dope. It's not like gimmicky. They just line the guys up closer, and they can't run until the returner actually catches the ball. So it helps decrease the impact of those collisions. Based on the data, it was like 400 kick returns in the XFL the last time they had it. 0 injuries and a 93% return rate. So there's data out there that not only do those kickoffs and punt coverage units cause head trauma, also like 30% of ACL injuries occur on special teams as well. So
really?
Anything, yeah, man, I was surprised, but anything ACL and lower body injuries on kickoffs and punt returns and stuff like that. So anything to clean it up so those guys could stay on the field longer, I'm all for it. So just wanted to say that was the only thing I really saw, man.
Yeah, between that and Kyler Murray's little social media drama with the Cardinals, that's about all that's been talked about outside of the Super Bowl, obviously, but that's mostly media, pressers, etc. Didn't think we need to get on that on the show.
Do you want me to spread some more fake news? Do you want me to spread some more fake?
Maybe not today. We'll see.
Wait, hold on. It's Cardinals related. I'm just do not shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the. I'm just telling you what I've heard. I have heard, and again, people, if you're tapping in, this could very well be the fakest of news. This is the Onion type stuff right here. But word is Kyler Murray every year still trains very hard, like baseball stuff. Still, he was a top Major League Baseball prospect. There was a lot of debate. Was he going to play baseball? Was he going to play football? The Oakland Athletics, didn't they take him in the first round?
First round pick to the A's,
he was a high pick, too. Not like he was like
top 20 pick or something.
Yeah, top 20 pick. Word is he still trains for that and would love to pursue that at some point in time in his career. I'm just saying. If you were that level of an athlete and you could try it, like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not? Like, Michael Jordan did it. We saw Deion Sanders do it. Go back to their respective sports. I don't know if he is or will not, and I definitely don't think it's happening this year. But I wouldn't put that to bed, man. I would not put. He's so young. He's a that's one of the top athletes in the freaking world to be able to do that. Why not give it a shot? Just throwing that out there. All right, we're done.
All right, so first question of the day is, what is Deshaun Watson's long-term value, and where do you think his best landing spot is? We've seen Miami floated around. I don't think that's happening now. Denver was another spot that was floated around. But at this point, I'm not really sure who the best suitor is for Watson, because a lot of these teams are probably looking more towards the draft than looking to trade for Deshaun Watson.
All right, this is so last night, podcast with Derek Brown. Make sure y'all check that out, FTM Fantasy Podcast. We were talking about these quarterbacks. And right now, according to DLF's startup ADP from January, Deshaun Watson is valued at QB 14. QB is ahead of Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Hurts, Prescott, Trey Lance. QB's right behind Deshaun Watson, Matt Stafford, Mac Jones, Tua, Zach Wilson. So definitely ahead of those guys. 26 years old. He'll be 26 during the season. He'll turn 27 if he plays. I mean, if he plays, I think he's a top. He slides right back in.
I still think he's top 5, man. I really do. I think he's still top 5 upside, top 5 potential if he's healthy and playing on. And like what he did on the Texans last season, leading the league in passing, if he goes to an actually good team, he should be a top 5 quarterback. He really should.
So, and when you're saying top 5, this is who he's got to usurp. Burrow, Lamar, Kyler, Herbert, Allen, Mahomes. I don't know if he yes, if he lands, let's just say he goes to Denver, right? I'm just throwing that. Denver's like the hot spot. Yes, I'd put him ahead of Lamar Jackson. I'd probably put him ahead of Kyler Murray. Be right behind Justin Herbert as QB4 for me. It's just a risk. Like, are you willing to take the risk on one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL? I don't know anything that's going on with him from the legal perspective of his accusers, and I have no idea. But I do know that when he's on the field, he's a top 3, top 2 quarterback. Right now, I'm like erring on I'm leaning on the side of I would rather let that situation play out. If you're telling me that I can acquire him for mad cheap, I'm talking like, let me ask you this question. Would you rather have Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Kenny Pickett, or Sam Howell, or Deshaun Watson right now? Just one of those 4 rookie quarterbacks who we think in Superflex, probably first-round rookie picks. Would you rather have any of those guys, take your flavor, or Deshaun Watson right now with, I don't care, no land, just with this current situation? No guarantees.
Guarantee he plays, though?
No guarantee, nothing. No, right now, no guarantee a damn thing. His situation right now, like you don't know what's going on. Watson or any of those quarterbacks?
I think I would take Malik Willis or Matt Corral, and I think that's where my line would be.
Okay. And the comments, everybody is saying Watson, easy Deshaun Watson. Yeah, I mean, talent-wise, there's no doubt. I don't know what's happening. I have no clue. Like, he's not going to be in Houston. I don't know, But here's the thing. If you're going to make that move, you got to do it now. Because the moment it's announced that he's traded to Carolina, the moment it's announced he's settled his lawsuit claims, the buy window is completely over. I would not mind, if it were me and I had like the 108, 107, 106, I have no problem. Probably like the 108 because that's kind of where my tier break is in this class. I'd trade 108, 109, 110, 111 for Deshaun Watson and just keep my fingers crossed.
Okay, so the next question. Were people too high on Jalen Reagor for the same reasons they're too high on Treylon Burks? 5'11 versus 6'3", 225, but how worried are you about Burks versus a Garrett Wilson?
Wait, okay.
He's talking about how Reagor was an unpolished route runner, but freaky athletic, super high draft capital. And he's comparing Burks, same type of style, freaky athletic, super high draft capital, not the most refined route runner, versus, a Justin Jefferson, not to say Garrett Wilson's Justin Jefferson, but a Justin Jefferson mold receiver, more polished, more NFL ready. Yeah,
I think
not as high ceiling.
I think they're two completely different wide receivers. When you go back, hindsight is always 20/20, right? But the history of Big 12 wide receivers, like especially of late, it's not good. You just look at them. TCU's had a couple of them. Josh Dotson, Jalen Reagor. You go to Oklahoma. I'm old enough to remember Ryan Broyles. I remember Mark Clayton. Even Hollywood Brown. There's zero defense that's played in the Big 12. I don't care about route running, how it looks aesthetically. Let me explain this to y'all because this is very important, right? All I care about is, can a wide receiver create separation? I tweeted it out. Did you see the quote from Jamar Chase, who he modeled his game after? Jamar Chase said he modeled his game after Dez Bryant. I tweeted out in August of 2021, yes, I see the separation concerns early in Jamar Chase's route running, but I wasn't concerned because he plays the same style of game as Dez Bryant. Like I said that in August of 2021. And what those dudes do well, and this is why I'm not concerned about Drake London, I'm not concerned about Treylon Burks. You can create separation in 3 phases of a route from a wide receiver. 1, off the line of scrimmage. Do you have an excellent release package and you create the separation off the line? 2, mid-route. Is your route running that technical where mid-route you could shake free from a defensive back? And the third way to create separation is post-route. Right before the catch, can wide receivers separate from the defensive back just enough to create that space to get the ball? Go watch Jamar Chase this year. There's the cornerbacks all over him, right? Last second, what's he do? Give him a little shoulder shrug. He creates that separation, boom, catches it, runs. As long as you can separate in 1 of 3 phases of the route, I don't care how aesthetically pleasing it looks. I can name a shit ton of route running savants that never commanded targets, right? I just want to know, if the ball is thrown your way, can you separate? And the difference between Jalen Reagor and Treylon Burks is Treylon Burks can do that. Jalen Reagor wasn't as uber of an athlete as we thought he was, right? We really, he did a lot more gadgety type stuff at Texas A&M, at Texas Christian University. A lot of tunnel screens, a lot of smoke screens. It was a lot of, they're two different receivers. They played in two different conferences. I've seen Treylon Burks dominate the SEC. Top cornerbacks that are going to be first-round picks, Roger McCreary, all the Alabama defenders. So for me, again, all you can bet on, this is the classic case of process over results. None of us, me, Evan Silva, name any of your top fantasy analysts, man. None of us can truly predict what's going to happen with these players in the future, if they're 100% going to hit or not. But all we can really bank on is try to bank on the opportunity, right? And when a wide receiver is drafted in the first round, that is going to provide a window of opportunity. And the funny thing about Jalen Reagor is, and I talked to some Philadelphia Eagles guys at the Senior Bowl about this, you go back to week 1 of his rookie season, week 1, I think it was the third play of the game, Carson Wentz drops back, 50-plus yard bomb to Reagor versus the Washington football team. Very next week, takes a reverse, 40 yards for a touchdown. Like, it started off like, oh, snap. Like, this dude could be something. But other factors, unbeknownst to us, it didn't fire. If Burks is drafted in the first round, if he tests like an unbelievable athlete, he's got the production in the SEC, that's the process, right? Like, you're banking on the process. And I think they're two totally different receivers. If you have Garrett Wilson ahead of Treylon Burks because he is a more refined player at this moment of time, no problem. But where he is in refinement, Treylon Burks makes up for in size, speed, and athleticism. So it's like, what do you feel more comfortable with investing in? Make that decision. Both of those dudes are super dope. I still have them as 1A, 1B in the class. Take whichever one you want, but I think Treylon Burks is a much better wide receiver prospect, a much better ball of clay than Jalen Reagor was.
Okay, so another interesting point for this offseason, what are we doing with Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Are we buying? Are we selling? And what's a price point you think is fair? The comment this gentleman made was that if you're trying to sell CEH, people still want a lot, but no one wants to pay the price to really get them, right? Everyone's trying to get a second to get them and things like that, real low ball offers. And we'll get into another question with similar type of player, but CEH is just, his value is shot right now. What are you doing with him? Are you buying, you selling?
Man, what? I'm trying to think of a worse pivot at 101 in the history of fantasy football. I mean, literally.
It's N'Keal Harry level, honestly. Like, it is.
I think this is N'Keal Harry. No. I think this is worse than N'Keal Harry because the only players that were in that consideration in that 2019 draft class for 101 outside of Superflex, we know it was Kyler Murray, right? But skill position players, it was N'Keal Harry, Miles Sanders, or David Montgomery. Those were kind of like the guys at the top of that class, right? So if you took N'Keal Harry and missed out on Miles Sanders or David Montgomery, you lost. There's no doubt. You took an L, but it's not a big of an L. It's taking CEH over Jonathan Taylor, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, that Cam Akers, DeAndre Swift. Like, if you took him 101 in 2020, that may have been the worst selection in the last 10 years at 101 because it's a wrap, man. You got to hold him. What are you trading him for? Yeah. I'm not giving you anything. I would take Rachaad White, Tyler Algier. What other second-round running back are we talking about right now that has an opportunity to get some playing time? I'll take all of those cats over Clyde right now and just bank on the black box prospect that we just assuming maybe they'll get a role. CEH's role is in the weird thing about him, dude, coming out of LSU, his claim to fame, his calling card was pass catching. He was receiving. They don't even throw him they don't even throw him the ball. He broke away.
They like D. Will more.
One of those playoff games, he got the ball and he broke free for like 20 yards. He looked so slow. He looked like he was running in mud, and he's about this big, and he's supposed to be Brian Westbrook. That is a complete disgrace to the name of the great Brian Westbrook. If you got Clyde, you either have to hold him or he's a piece in a deal. He's like a throw-in piece. I mean, I think his value right now, like just really trying to put some value on it, like late second, like late,
Oof.
like I wouldn't, if you have the 205, 206 and you're looking at Chris Olave or Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who would you rather have? I'd rather have Olave.
Depending on where Olave goes, it
ain't dependent on none of that. I'd rather have Chris Olave. It ain't dependent on none of that. Would you rather have, who else is going? Would you rather have Christian Watson right now? What Christian Watson can be from NDSU. Matt Kelly, when I was on with the Podfather, he asked me this question. I asked you, and then we'll move on. Devin Singletary or Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Oh, Devin Singletary. It's not even close.
Next question.
He's looked really good.
Next question.
So the next question is 301 for Kyle Trask. Gambling, he becomes the starter. Would you be willing to make that bet?
Yeah, fine. I'm fine with it. Yeah.
And then the other part of the question, which is hilarious because we had a spirited debate about this player, is Terrace Marshall toast?
Done.
Do you have any faith in him at all?
Nope. And I think in our Heisman chat in the patron group, somebody said, I don't know if it was Jeff, I don't know if it was Eric, but they wondered if Joe Brady made that pick and how far Terrace Marshall would have fallen had Joe Brady not made that pick. Was that a Joe Brady pick, and did that get his ass fired? Listen, when you're a game day inactive and the 4th round rookie out of South Carolina or 5th round, wherever Shi Smith went, when he's playing over you, it's a wrap, man. Like, I'll say, okay, let me take a step back. I am not going to write off any rookie after their first season. I just don't do that, right? Sometimes it takes players a little bit of time to adjust. Is it a wrap? No, it's not a wrap, but it's not looking good at all for Terrace Marshall, right? It's not looking good. We'll see what they do. I know they signed Robbie to a 2-year deal, so he's probably coming back. DJ Moore, they're going to have to figure out. They're probably going to re-up DJ Moore. They may invest in another pass catcher. I feel like they need to get a tight end. Ian Thomas isn't it. They should have kept Dan Arnold. I like Dan Arnold in Carolina. It's got to happen this year. This is the same thing with Rager, right? After his rookie season, Rager still had a little bit of value, man. Like, people were willing to give up a late second in 2021 to get Rager, maybe that second year bounce, that sophomore season kind of breakout. It's got to happen. And I think you're going to know real early if he's going to be the guy or not. But right now, it's not looking good for Terrace Marshall. It ain't looking good for him. It's not looking good for Trey Sermon. I'm thinking about some of these higher end, second round picks of last year. Not looking good for either of those dudes, man.
All right, so the next question is, how do you value CMC right now in Dynasty? Because obviously, if you have him, you want to sell him for a lot, but people trying to buy are discounting him because of injury. So where do we kind of value CH right now? Because in a startup, he's probably still going in the top 5 picks as far as running backs go. He's probably going in the top 3 for running backs. And so where do we value him? Would you draft him in the first round? And kind of how do you feel about him overall?
Hell yeah. I'm still taking him. What's he, 25 years old? I think he just turned. Go look at I think he just turned 25. Listen, man, his contract, he's locked into Carolina until 2025. Like, he's locked in. He's not going anywhere for another 3 football seasons. He's turning 26 years old. The thing that I like about the Christian McCaffrey type players and players like a Kamara, like James White. James White a couple of years ago was a top 10 PPR running back, and he didn't ever run the ball, right? He just caught a bunch of passes. He's got a game that's going to age well. In Dynasty, there are some running backs I prefer to him, right? Like, I would rather have Jonathan Taylor. I'd rather have Najee Harris. Would you take Javonte Williams over Christian McCaffrey? Did you realize Javonte Williams is only 21 years old?
Yeah, very young player. He's exciting, but he's going a little high for my liking. He's
going a little high, right now. And Cam Akers is only 22 and a half. So, point is, I still think he's a first-round Dynasty pick in the way that I would play it, right? Because he's gonna be healthy at some point. Maybe it's this season, right? He's going to blow back up and be the CMC of old. I don't think we're ever going to get 1,000 and 1,000 from him again. But what you can do is say you can get CMC at the 108, 109 spot in the startup. Is if he blows up and starts to return to form, you could ride that production out this year and then get off of him next year. Or you can let the blow up happen this year, trade him for multiple 2023 picks, re-up with the Sean Tucker, get you a Tank Bigsby, a Jahmyr Gibbs in 2023, plus, and just pivot off of CMC there. Still got tremendous value. He's a running back that catches passes, and he still has the name cachet. I don't think he's got as much stink on him as Saquon Barkley. I don't.
Saquon Barkley's going late in
He's
drafts.
got a lot of stink on him right now. So for me, and there are some dynasty starters where you probably could get CMC late first, and I think that's a hell of a. Like, I'm taking him over Dalvin Cook. I'm taking him over Alvin Kamara. Like, the only bet. Let me ask you, CMC or Cam Akers in dynasty?
I think I would probably still take Cam Akers. And part of it is the system too, right? Like, I love the Rams system, and Cam Akers being the feature back in that system should be extremely valuable.
Okay. Well, that's where I'm at. I still like him. Though.
Okay, so now the next question is talking about a potential draft slot for your boy Treylon Burks. How would you feel about him going to Cleveland?
Stop. No. Okay. Realistically, here's the thing. You look at the Browns, man. They need a receiver. And
yes,
I'm going to say something, and just monitor the comments. Make sure the stream doesn't shut down. I still think Baker Mayfield, especially where he's valued at right now in Dynasty. Let me tell you why. I still think he's a buy for the price point that it would cost you to get him. He was hurt last year, and I'm not trying to make excuses for his play. He played horrible. But the year before, he played very, very good football, right? No consistency with the offensive coordinator. His pass catchers are dog shit, man. You're rolling out Jarvis Landry and Donovan Peoples-Jones and Demetric Felton and Anthony Schwartz. Like, these are receivers. It was interesting. The NFL players tell you a lot about what they think about other teams, and it was interesting listening to people talk about New England. And they were like, they have no guys that scare us on the outside. None. Yeah. So we're just going to single up everybody, blitz Mac Jones, and there's nobody to throw the ball to. When you don't have a dog on the outside, it makes it very easy for a defense to scheme against you. Baker was bad, but right now, what's Baker cost you in Dynasty? A second? A second-round pick for Baker Mayfield?
I don't even think he'd cost you that, honestly. You could probably get him for less than that.
Bro, if you can get Baker for less than that, he's going to start, man. Like, on the comments yesterday, I listed off the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. You're rolling out Daniel Jones, Taylor Heineke, Mason Rudolph, Kyle Trask, Sam Darnold, Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock. The list of putrid quarterbacks goes on and on and on and on. When I was listing them out, I was like, there's a lot of shit quarterbacks in the NFL. Baker's going to start again, man. And if you're telling me I can get a starting quarterback in Superflex for a 301 for the 210, sign me up. And then you get him a dynamic receiver, right? Get him somebody that can actually win in some quadrant of the field. And it's no slight to Jarvis Landry. He's the consummate pro. He brings his lunch pail to work every day. He's going to catch majority of the stuff that's thrown to him, but he's old now. He's not a game breaker. There's nobody that threatens a defense. Get him some help, man. You Treylon there, just have him run crossing routes and deep digs and drag routes and just say, Baker, just get it out quick. Just get it. Use him like Tua used Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle didn't run a damn thing downfield. It was all short area targets. He had over 100 receptions and over 1,000 yards. He'd be the alpha. I don't love it, but I will say this. I'd prefer a receiver in Cleveland opposed to a receiver in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia Eagles hate just runs deep.
It's not hate. It's not hate. I just know that Cleveland's going to, and they have no choice but to throw the ball. They're in the AFC North. They are going to have to score to keep up with Cleveland, to keep up with Cincinnati, to keep up with Baltimore. I trust Baker to at least throw it when healthy and a little more accurately than Jalen Hurts. I'd rather, if one of those top receivers have to go to Cleveland or Philly, I'd rather them go to Cleveland opposed to Philadelphia.
Yeah, to your point about Baker, QB 27 as far as DLF's ADP, it reminds me kind of when Derek Carr was like QB 32. I'm like, at some point he's going to have to go up. Like, it's just inevitable. He's just too low right now. So I do kind of agree with you. I wasn't really fully on board, but if I can get him behind Matt Ryan, I'm okay with that.
Cleveland homer. Matt Bruning coming in to give me some support because
15
nobody.
wide receiver in
But
Cleveland.
no, let's talk about this though. This is why, like, understand what I'm telling y'all, people. I'm not saying that Baker Mayfield is good, but the same sentiment that's permeating amongst our community right here, Dimes is better than Baker. I don't want him. He's garbage. This is when you go get a cat like this. A starting quarterback, man. I am old enough to remember, and I keep using this example. 2 years ago, people traded second-round picks during the season, 2020 second-round picks for Jake Luton because they didn't have a starting quarterback. I don't even know if Jake Luton, whatever his name is, I don't even know if he's in the NFL right now. So if you're telling me Baker is going to start and nobody wants him, he's god-awful, he's terrible, then take my third rounder for him and I'll take the quarterback. Like, it's the value. What happens when Baker goes out there in the first 2 games, he looks good. He looks solid. Now his value's up, right? Now you can at least get a second for him. So it's the value game. It's not about, I'm reacting to the market value. And if everybody is telling me he's terrible and the NFL's like he's going to be a starter, well, then you give me that terrible asset. I will give you this third-round pick. You have fun drafting Brian Robinson and deal with that. I'll take the quarterback in Superflex, and then I'll flip him once he has 2 good games, or they give him a Treylon Burks or a Garrett Wilson. Dynasty is a game of chess, not checkers. You got to be thinking long-term. I ain't just trying to beat you in the short term. I'm thinking what could happen with a 26-year-old quarterback that goes back and has a good season. Jared Goff is going to start again. Jared Goff is going to start, you know? People were trading first-round picks for Gardner Minshew. It's the value game, man.
All right, so here's some 4D chess for you. Would you trade the rookie 201 for a 2023 first?
Yeah. Yes.
You would.
Yeah. The rookie 201 for a 2023 first? Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all something real quick. Let me show y'all something really quick. I'm going to give y'all a little peek behind the curtain because I need you guys to see. I need you guys to see this, right? Let me give y'all a peek behind the curtain. Why is this not in dark mode? Yeah, let me switch it to dark mode real quick. And I'm going to show y'all light mode. I don't know why it's in light mode. Let me give y'all a peek behind the curtain. Let's share the screen here, okay? Can you see this, Jay? Can you see this?
Yeah.
All right, these are my inside the Patreon. Where's my old guy that was like, what the hell is a Patreon, right? Let's go to the 2023 running backs. This is what we have. We've got Sean Tucker, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Zach Evans, Tank Bigsby, Devon Achane, Zach Charbonnet. That's what we have coming out with the running backs in 2023, right? Let's go look at the wide receivers real quick in 2023. 2023 wide receivers that are coming out. Jordan Addison, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Kayshon Boutte, Josh Downs. All right, well, that's pretty nice. Let's go to the 2023 tight ends. Who do we have coming out? Oh, Jaheim Bell, Michael Mayer, Darnell Washington, Sam Laporta. I'll take that. And then, we got, let's just look at the running backs in the 2023 class compared to 2021 and 2022. I've got 3 running backs right now ranked ahead of every other running back in all 3 Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Sean Tucker all ranked above every running back in 2022. Every running back in 2022. Let's look at the wide receivers in 2023. Jackson Smith and Jigba and Kayshon Boutte ranked over damn near every wide receiver in 2021 outside of Jalen Waddle and Jamar Chase. So the answer to your question, Jay, 100%. If you're telling me I'm choosing between George Pickens, Kyron Williams, or a 2023 first-round pick where I can get a Sean Tucker, a Bijan Robinson, a Jahmyr Gibbs, a Michael Mayer, a Jackson Smith and Jigba, hell yes.
Man, the Q&A where the free game just keeps on flowing. And thank you, Derek, for your super chat.
Super chat. We got to get a sounder. Super chat. Derek, thank you. My old lady got arthritis watching Gardner Minshew fingers. Okay. We appreciate it, big dog. What's next, man?
How high would you be willing to draft Trey McBride in a tight end premium in an ideal landing spot?
You said what?
How high would you draft Trey McBride in a tight end premium league, assuming he gets an ideal landing spot?
Like early second?
Yeah. I was thinking about the same thing, like probably early to mid second.
Mid second? Yeah, I'm not. If you're saying it's Michael Mayer or Brock Bowers,
Yeah,
like
that's a different conversation.
Michael Mayer legitimately might be a first round pick outside of tight
He,
end premium next year. Like he
yeah.
legitimately might be 109 to 112 Michael Mayer outside of tight end premium, right? Like you'd probably go the top two quarterbacks, and we'll see if Tyler Van Dyke or Will Levis can assert themselves. You're going to take probably 4 of the running backs and maybe 2
Yep.
of the wide receivers, Smith and Jigba and Kayshon Boutte, and then it's probably Michael Mayer. That's a first round caliber tight end. Brock Bowers, if Brock Bowers, who's not eligible until 2024, was in this draft class, I think he'd be a first round pick, like legitimately. So
Yeah.
Trey McBride isn't even on their level. Like he's not in their stratosphere. So even in a tight end premium, unless you're telling me it's like 2.5 a reception, which I've never even seen that, I think like 205 to like the early second. But outside of that, I'd rather grab a tight end later on. It normally takes those guys time to develop. They're not Kyle Pitts. I don't even think Trey McBride is Pat Freiermuth. So if anybody wanted to do that, I would trade that second round pick for Pat Freiermuth plus. That's how I'd play it.
Okay, so the next question is, we won't hold you to it, but do you have any fourth and fifth
real quick,
round?
Bruning just said it. Why take McBride when you can get some of the other? So listen, man, I interrupt. That's what I do. So you should know that's coming. Bruning just said it, but why take McBride when you can get some of the other guys in the third? Like I think that's a wasteful use of resources in a rookie draft. I'd pass on him. I'd be fine with, Charlie Kohler, Jalen Weidermeyer, Greg Dolch. Like, just give me somebody else. Isaiah Likely in the third. I'd rather do that. Sorry. Go ahead, since I just ruined your fucking flow.
You didn't. It's just you interrupted. So
right.
Question was, though, lottery tickets in the 4th, 5th round. Do you have any you're kind of got your eyes on right now, or are you still kind of refining that as far as your lotto tickets go?
Let me look. Lottos. So you've got to, when you're talking lottos, again, I don't care what their production was. Like when you're looking, and I tell my patrons this, right? When you're talking about 3rd, 4th, 5th round rookie picks, the production ain't there. The analytical profile probably is not there. There's something missing. Either they didn't get a bunch of carries. So me in my process, what I'm looking at for those later round rookie picks, strictly looking at skill set. Do they have the skill set that if given an opportunity, does do what they do well? Can that translate, right? So I don't care about, he never had 1,000 yards. Are you fast? Are you athletic? Do you have the agility? Can you fucking run if they give you the ball? I'll throw a couple out there right now. I think Kevin Harris is going to be an amazing value later out of South Carolina at 5'11", 220 pounds. There's reports that he's a sub 4.5 rusher. He did it in the SEC. We saw him go for I think he had over 1,100 yards in 10 games in the SEC in 2020. Had back surgery, so his season started off really slow this year. But I think Kevin Harris at the running back position is a late round dart throw that you might want to invest in. Some dirtier names that just they're gross and they're going to be late round picks. Tyrion Davis-Price out of LSU. He's a north-south grinder, right? He ain't going to do anything in the pass-catching game, but he's got really good burst to be 225, 230 pounds. He's worth a shot. And a player, the last guy I'm going to talk about from the running backs, because more free game, 4th round, 5th round, I'm just taking running backs. I'm not even dealing with the why. I want one of the most fragile positions in the NFL where all it takes is one injury, and now the 3rd string running back is the 2nd string running back, 2nd string running back is the starting running back, and as soon as a running back is named the starter, they've got value and you can flip. Player that's really grown on me, Jay, again, 1st and 2nd down back, not going to give you anything on in passing work, Zamir White out of LSU. I think you just watch him, man.
Out of Georgia?
Out of Georgia. Sorry, Zamir White out of Georgia. Good Lord. Don't kill me. Ricardo, yeah, I was going to say Sincere McCormick, but he's kind of more, people kind of are on him. I still think Zamir White is a nice running back, man. He's got good burst, speed. He's got the high school profile. But when you're talking about late guys, TDP and Kevin Harris are 2 guys. And Jashaun Corbin out of Florida State.
Okay, so I have a trade for you. One of these people traded Rondell Moore and the 101 for Ridley and the 103. How do you feel about that value for Ridley?
He traded Rondell and 101 for Ridley and 103.
Yeah.
Where's my special sounders? Where are my special effects? Where are my that's a hand. That's a great job. I mean, you
Yeah.
tear down. You move down 2 picks and you get Calvin Ridley for Rondell Moore, and if whatever quarterback goes 101 or if it's Treylon Burks, I don't care. Like 103 and Ridley, that's an easy smash accept. Like I'm not even counter. I'm just hitting the accept button, and I got a hard on because I'm just so happy about that deal. Like no doubt in my mind. Easy stuff.
Okay, so controversial topic recently, but Lamb or Higgins in Dynasty. We haven't really talked about this so much. Talked about it a little bit, but where are you at with Lamb versus Higgins in the Dynasty landscape?
I'm still on Lamb. I still like CD Lamb, and it's not homerism.
I'll see the cap, right?
It's not homerism. I still think CD Lamb. Maybe he hasn't given us that monstrous 1,600 yard season yet, but I think it's right on the horizon. He's been very good both seasons, and you got to think his rookie year he did it with 4 different quarterbacks. Man, did it with Dalton, with Dak, with DiNucci, and with I think Garrett Gilbert played a week. You know what I mean? He did it with 4 different quarterbacks. This year, Dallas trying to figure it out. Offensive line was shit. It's still Lamb for me, but it's not as wide of a gap. In my cornerstone rankings, I think I have both of those guys as tier 1 wide receivers. Let me just take a look real quick. Cornerstone rankings. Actually, CeeDee Lamb and T. Higgins are now removed from the new cornerstone rankings. But before that, yeah, they're both tier 1 wide receivers. I have Lamb a little bit ahead of one spot ahead of T. Higgins. One spot ahead. I have Lamb at 13. Trevor Lawrence is there at 14, and T. Higgins is at 15. So they're right there.
Okay. And
Super
then
chat.
to Alexis.
Super chat. Trevor, appreciate you, big dog. Thank you. Yeah, Fusu's got Higgins over CD. Fusu's my dog. Big T. Higgins fan, as am I. I still like Lamb a little bit more, just a touch.
And then maybe our last question, I don't know how many more you want to do, but who do you think has the biggest second-year leap between Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and Zach Wilson?
Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and Zach Wilson, second-year leap? The answer is not any of those guys. It's Trey Lance. I think it's Trey Lance. I think listen, man, what I saw from Lance, like when I'm looking at upside and what these dudes can become. I think Trey Lance more than any of those guys. I think that's the dude with those weapons, with that offense and the playing time that he's had and some of the throws that he was able to make. I think he's better primed to crack that top 5. When you're talking about Lamar, Kyler, Herbert, Allen, Mahomes, if you're going to say one of those guys could crack that top 5, I think it's Trey Lance. If I had to re-rank those quarterbacks based off the information that we have, what we saw in 2021, what we see with the offensive infrastructure around these teams, my money's on Trey Lance. I think that's the cat that's going to come out the gate, and with the arm strength, with the rushing mobility, he's a better rusher in my opinion than Justin Fields. He's a better running quarterback than Justin Fields. Justin Fields is mobile and can run, and he's got the speed, but Trey Lance is a more dynamic rusher in my opinion. I think that's the dude that's going to have a big second-year leap. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be better. It can't be any worse. I think Justin Fields, that situation is what I'm concerned about Chicago to some degree, so we'll see what they do. I think Mac Jones, if they invest in that wide receiver position, I think he can have a big second-year leap too. Like, he's got a Phillip Rivers type ceiling. I think you get him some wide receivers around, and I know Walt loves those accurate quarterbacks. Give Mac Jones Garrett Wilson, right? Give him Garrett Wilson. What if they sign a Chris Godwin or a Michael Gallup on the low? I think Mac Jones is in for another leap as well. Zach Wilson, want to see what the Jets do, but he's another one of those young quarterbacks I'm trying to buy. But of all the 2021 guys, if you were going to ask me right now to put my stamp on it and to die on a second-year leap hill, it's going to be Mac Jones and Trey Lance for me. I think those two are probably going to have some of the big experience that Mac Jones had. And there's something to be said about confidence, man. And no, in a regular football season, ain't no way he's making the Pro Bowl. But he was there with those guys. And he feels like he's a part. And he participated in it. And he started the entire season. And he battled the ebbs and flows, the playoffs, the good moments, the bad moments. All of that experience helps you become better, helps you grow. And he did it with Nelson Aguilar, Jacoby Myers, N'Keal Harry, Gunnar Olszewski, whatever. Like, give him Garrett Wilson. Give him David Bell. Give him some legitimate weapons on the outside that can play. I think he and Trey Lance are going to have a really, really nice second season, man.
Okay, so I want to get to Trayvon's question real quick. In a Dynasty Superflex startup, would you trade the 105 for the 111 second, 4th, and 8th round pick?
Yeah, in a Dynasty startup, 105 for what? The 111?
No, not the 111. It'd be the 202, the 402, and the 802.
Probably not. I'd probably want
a little light for me too.
Yeah, probably not. And I'd want a 2023 pick. Like if I'm moving off of a first round startup pick, and at 105 you're locked and loaded one of the tier 1 quarterbacks, or you're locked,
or Jonathan Taylor, right?
Or Jonathan Taylor. I need second, third, fifth, and a first. I need something else, man. Like, I need something else. Yeah. I need something else. It's a little light for me. Is that it? Is that all we got?
Oh no, we got lots more. If you want to keep going.
I don't want to keep going. So one more question and let's get out of here. I need to go work out.
Okay, so the last question is, this gentleman owns picks 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16 in rookie drafts, and he wants you to touch on your second round targets right now in rookie drafts.
Patreon.com/prospect talk. Touch on all
and
those
we will
guys.
get to that tomorrow.
And we will get to that
second round rookie draft review.
Yeah.
6.0. Let's do it.
Sir. Yes, sir. We appreciate everybody tapping into the show. Wednesdays are for you, the people. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hey, comment. It's 175 of y'all in here. Comment on my damn channel.
And we need some likes.
We need some likes. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe. Tell your friends. And we got some stuff to give away, too. We're going to give away some stuff. And we are going to, Jay, are we going to do a YouTube rookie mock in here? A lot of people want a single quarterback. I think we can get Sleeper.
Yeah.
Drop the link in the chat. First come, first serve. We might do that next week. I think we're going to do a single quarterback mock. I'm not going to participate. Y'all are going to do it, and we're just going to rip the shit out of the picks that you make. So we're probably going to do that, a 3-round rookie mock, 30-second pick. Stay tapped into the channel. Subscribe to the podcast. Check out my show with Derek Brown on FTN Fantasy. We will be back tomorrow with the second round of the rookie 2022 Superflex mock. Love y'all, man. We out of this thing. Peace.